Today's story isn't just about food. It's about power, survival, and the rise of a nation most of the world never expected. What if I told you that a small, landlocked country in West Africa just signed a $14 billion deal with India? One that could shake global markets and rewrite the future of food security? Let's break it down. It was early morning in Asia when the news dropped. Traders in New York and London were barely awake, sipping coffee, scrolling through their screens. Then came a headline no one saw coming. Burkina Faso signs $14 billion grain export deal with India. That's right. Burkina Faso, a country many people barely hear about in the news, suddenly became the center of the global food conversation. The numbers that shocked the world. Here's the deal: $14 billion in value, 20 million metric tons of maize and sorghum, a supply contract lasting 10 years. On the surface, it's simple. Burkina Faso grows, India buys. But in reality, this move has massive consequences for markets, politics, and even climate resilience. Within minutes of the announcement, grain prices spiked in Mumbai, Chicago, and London. Traders scrambled. Analysts rushed onto live TV calling it historic. Some even said, game changer. Why this deal matters. So why would India, already a food giant, look to Africa for grain? The answer: security. India's agriculture lives and dies by the monsoon. When rains are good, crops overflow. When rains are weak, shortages hit hard and prices explode. By locking in grain from Burkina Faso, India is basically buying an insurance policy against unpredictable weather. For Burkina Faso, it's about recognition and opportunity. A nation mostly known for gold, cotton, and political struggles is now stepping onto the world stage as a rising agricultural hub. The challenge and the solution. Now, here's the kicker. Burkina Faso has no coastline, exporting millions of tons of grain without direct access to the sea. Sounds impossible, but instead of giving up, both nations co-invested in new infrastructure: railroads, highways, port facilities in neighboring countries. What looked like a barrier turned into a symbol of partnership and problem-solving. This deal isn't just business, it's politics too. China, the US, and Middle Eastern nations have been building influence in Africa for years. With this deal, India makes it clear: we're not sitting on the sidelines anymore. For Burkina Faso, choosing India meant showing the world it could make independent choices, not just follow old colonial trade routes. And let's be real, this sent shockwaves through South America and Eastern Europe, regions that have dominated grain exports for decades. Suddenly, they've got a new competitor. But here's the question every Burkinabe citizen is asking: if we're sending so much food abroad, will there be enough left at home? The government says yes. They've locked in a percentage of harvests strictly for local consumption, plus promised to use some of the revenue to invest in irrigation and subsidize food prices. If that balance holds, the people of Burkina Faso could see real benefits alongside global recognition. Why it's a game changer? Think about it. This isn't just about selling grain. It's about building roads, training farmers, upgrading storage systems, and connecting Africa to global supply chains. For India, it's about securing food for over 1 billion people, protecting industries like dairy and poultry that feed millions daily. For Africa, it's proof that even landlocked countries can play on the world stage. And for the world, it's a reminder that food security is no longer controlled by a handful of nations. A new player has entered the game. So, what started as a quiet trade negotiation years ago has now turned into one of the largest grain deals in modern history. A $14 billion handshake between Africa and Asia that could change how we think about food, power, and survival in the 21st century. But here's the real question. Will this be the model for future trade deals, or just a one-time headline? Stay tuned, because the ripple effects are only just beginning.